So the state of Texas is back in the news, and it's mainly because their governor has decided to make a very controversial decision in reopening the state at 100% capacity. And obviously, this was met with a lot of criticism, not just by a majority of the citizens of the state that outnumber, you heard me right, outnumber the citizens that are happy that he made this decision, but it's also, this criticism is also met by all of the news media and the political figures, including our own president, that have all agreed that it's a little too soon and premature to make this announcement. Now, it's one. Now, let's look at it this way. It's one thing to ease up on restrictions. Kind of say, hey, you can get back to normal, and here's what you need to do that. And all that. That's fine. Keep things safe and sound until we get the okay go around. To say, hey, we're 100% ready to go. The state is 100% allowed to get back to normal. It's one thing to go that route. Like I said, to ease up on restrictions until we get to that moment. But it's another to just come straight out and tell not just your own citizens in your state that you're reopening 100% capacity, but to also do it in front of the world and say, hey, we're reopening. We're the only state that's going to be 100% open because, oh, look, we're above the curve. We know what we're doing. And like I said, this was met with a lot of criticism because even those, a majority, like I said, of people that outnumber those that are happy the decision was made, those that, outnumber them, they're not happy. Those people that outnumber those that are not happy because they feel, like I said, like a lot of other people, political and news media wise, that it's too soon, that the governor is acting too prematurely. Like, yes, it's great. It's great that we have a lot of vaccines becoming available for people to have by May, according to our president. But, it's another to decide, based on that information, that you're going to reopen your state 100%. And, Gary Abbott has unfortunately gotten a lot of, backlash because of that. And because he ended up getting this backlash, I've got a feeling, he's going to have to rescind what he said. Yeah, I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen. I've got a feeling the governor is going to have to come out and to relieve this backlash and criticism that he's getting, he's probably going to have to come out and say, look, I made a premature decision. I made a rash decision, to reopen the state at 100%. So instead, I'm going to rescind that, and we're only going to open at half of it. In other words, he's going to probably have to make the announcement that the state's going to only open at 50%, capacity, and that maybe as a compromise, he'll allow the local and county governments and all that to make the decision of whether or not they want to go full 100% or keep it at 50. I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm sure a lot of people in Texas know that's going to happen too. Even those that are happy he made this decision, they probably realize that he's going to probably have to rescind that. Because, like I said, it's one thing to make the announcement that you're going to ease up on things to allow a little bit of normalcy back into the people's lives. It's another to say, hey, we're going to allow certain activities to happen as long as the right kind of safety protocols are put into place. It's a big difference when you make those kind of announcements, to allow a little bit of normalcy back in. But it's another to come out or come straight out and tell your state, tell your country your state resides in, as well as the world, hey, we're back to normal now. We're 100%. And in the process, make yourself look like the most controversial figure in the history of the country, on the recent history of the country, if not in the history of the state you're leading or you're governing. So, yeah, I've got a feeling he's going to have to rescind what he said, and he's probably going to make an announcement that instead of 100%, it's going to be 50%. And I think a lot of people know that. And it's not just him either. There are other states that are following suit in a similar, if not identical fashion. And they're probably going to have to do the same thing too. They're going to probably have to, rescind or pull back on what they, said or on their announcements and say, look, instead of, going that route, we're only going to go half. And they may have to do that. I mean, there are counties in cities, counties and cities here in California that are lifting restrictions, and some are making that mistake of going full 100%. But there are others that are like, look, let's not do that. Let's go half, and go from there, and just see what happens from there. The one thing some people will point out that support, Abbott's decision to do this is that, he's giving people the option to still keep social distancing, wear the mask, follow the protocols needed, to keep, the virus down. And that's great. But unfortunately, that's overshadowed by the fact that a lot of people feel he made a big mistake here. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to have to rescind on that, and the way he's got to rescind is come out and say, look, we're only going to do 50% opening of the state, and that's it. So that's what I could see happening, because there's a lot of people that are not, like I said, a lot more people, more so than those that are happy, that are not happy with this decision. One person that lives in Texas that I follow on YouTube and Twitter, Alex6, known as Just Alex or Just Alex Central, he's not happy. He's pretty much come out and said, look, why don't we just wait till everybody's vaccinated and then we get back to normal? And no one can blame him for feeling that way. He himself has admitted he has health problems. I think he has asthma or something. So he doesn't want to risk it. Even to him, it's like going out, and wearing a mask, that's fine and everything, but it's still kind of risky. So he doesn't want to risk, going out and what potentially could be, Tex apocalypse, if you will, and dying. So he feels that, along with a lot of other Texans, that, the governor made a big mistake. And I think he realizes, that being Alex, that the governor is going to probably have to take that back and rescind on it and probably say only half of the state will be reopened, only 50% of it. So we'll see what occurs in the news, and what the repercussions are going to be going forward, and if Gary Abbott's going to do this. And I've got a feeling he's going to have to. I really do. When you look at, and he'll probably do it to save his job, because, when you look at what Newsom's doing and Cuomo's doing, letting things reopen and all that and lifting restrictions, everybody's pretty much, and heck, I even said it in a live stream, everybody knows that they're only doing it to save their jobs, to keep people's minds off, or to get people's minds off trying to recall them, or trying to, remove them, through investigations and all that. They're trying to get people's minds, off of all that and onto these things, onto these announcements, and go from there. And that's what Gary Abbott's going to probably have to do. He's going to probably have to make that announcement to, save his job and get the backlash off of his back, and just wait until maybe the president gives the okay, which it sounds like, from what he's trying to pinpoint, should be about the summer. When it will be in the summer, I don't know. He's saying we should have enough by May, so I'm assuming he would probably, because of America's birthday in July, make the full announcement that July 4th will be 100% open, but we'll see. But yeah, I got a feeling Gary Abbott's going to have to rescind his decision. He's going to have to modify it and probably say it's only 50% open, that being the state, instead of 100%. But what do you guys think? What do you think of this controversial decision he made? Do you think, he was in the right? Or do you think he's going to have to rescind? Let me know down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.